Hello out there in YouTube land, welcome to the OK Good Review channel. And once again we are looking at a Transformers Studio series. This one is number 58 and it is Deluxe Class Roadbuster from Dark of the Moon, and this is him in his battle mode. Now I've got reservations. You might have heard me say that a few times. I've got reservations, guys. I have some reservations about this figure. But I will say this, I really like that they are presenting two different modes, because a lot of people have collected the movie figures. And if they're just going to do another shell former similar to that same movie figure, and I believe they did that also with Lockdown, then you have two modes that are basically identical. But in this case, they actually have it so you can display two or three, actually, if you have the alt. If you have the alt movie figure, the orange one, and it was exclusive to somebody from Dark of the Moon. So you could actually have all three of them, and then you can display them side by side without any duplication, which I think that's a cool idea. And I believe all the Wreckers, Top Spin I know is coming. I don't know, I would assume that probably Leadfoot is coming down the line as well. Hopefully Q, Wheeljack Q, is also going to be making an appearance. That is one of the more challenging ones to find. I don't know if they actually made a Q. They didn't make a Dino from the first movie in his Ferrari mode because they couldn't get the Ferrari license. So hopefully that will be something also that we see. Just like the Pagani, they couldn't get the license for the Deluxe Class for Age of Extinction movie. So we wound up having to wait until the studio series. But I am glad they got that result, and hopefully we'll see that with Dino as well. But on to this figure. Let's take a little look-see here at the box. And we have this cool shot of him on the front. Roadbuster has had so many iterations. So many. And this, I believe, is the battle. It's a very nice side panel art here. The battle for Chicago. Or Battle of Chicago, I guess. And you can see he's got his mood here with, it looks like his armaments are attached to him. This actually goes in the front, so you can do a couple different things with this. This gun is removable. They've attached it to his arm here. You can also hold it. I usually leave it on the foots, which looks stupid, but you know, I get a little lazy sometimes. So we have the Decepticons and Wreckers, which are Top Spin, Q, and Leadfoot in addition to this guy. Turn Decepticons into scrap. And here he is with his backdrop. So speaking of that, let's get to the backdrop. Whee! And this is a bit gimmicky. These backdrops. This one is not bad. We can put him on it. Again, it doesn't really make a lot of sense displaying it like this. Let's see if we can open it up a bit. Okay, let's see here. I mean, it's okay. I don't... You know, this actually kind of works better because you can do him as he's on the cross street. We will save this backdrop and put him on it in robot mood as well, but you can see there is some stuff going on here. Some this idea I go back and forth on because I don't think it, I think conceptually it's a cool idea. I don't think it always works well though. Okay, so take a look at him in vehicle mood, and you can see we got the Ultra Wreckers on the wheels, the Impala here on the front. This gun does swivel, so you can have it pointing up. Pointing down, well, down to the extent that you wouldn't have it pointing at the ground, but you can see there's just obscene amounts of detail in this. So very much detail here. You can see it's, I don't know what all these are, robo parts I guess. You can see he's got the sort of a rocket blaster thing on the back. I imagine to make him go really, really fast. Underneath you can see there is the entire robot, which does actually kind of keep in continuity with the movie version of this. So there is not the Mountain Dew plastered all over this, though. In fact, there's not any sponsor advertising at all on this. So I'm kind of wondering now if that might have been part of the issue with why they went to this. I mean, I'm glad they did, so you can display two different things, but now I'm wondering if that's why, because there's no sponsor anything on this. There's Impala from the GM license, there's NASCAR, of course, and then there's 88s, and that's it. So it'll be interesting. We're going to look at, of course, we have Topspin. You guys can look at the Dark of the Moon movie collection for that. None of these that are actually movie figures appear in the actual respective movie playlist. However, they only appear in the studio series. I could add them, I guess, guys. Maybe I'll do that. I might do that, guys, coming up, because studio series is all based on movies, so it probably makes sense for me to do that. So that might be a change. Stay tuned to our Twitter feed, and you can see if either I've done it or am in process of doing it, I guess. Changes to playlists, I generally will announce that on our Twitter feed. So now is a good time as any to tell you to follow us there if you use Twitter, and we would love to have you. So he does roll like this. You can see he's doesn't roll great, but he does roll. He's not an awesome rolling kind of guy, though. He's just an okay kind of rolling guy. And okay, so let's get to the transformation into robot mode. So the first thing, we're going to push down on this front section, which will start to release his legs. We will split this, and his legs, you can see his foots are tucked in here. So basically we need to just separate that from the rest of this, and you lift up the guns here, and then we should be able to, there we go. It does clip in a little hard, so like I was saying, I usually just leave the gun on his foot. I know it looks stupid, but that's what I do because I'm lazy. So it might stick a little bit, but anyway, there's the foots. Now this is actually the back of his legs, so this will be where the front is. So you can't actually see that, so he's actually shooting behind him with his feet. Yes, I know. All right, from there, his arms are actually tucked in here, so we need to pull these out slightly. You can see there's his arms there. And then we need to just do a little spinning here to get his arms out like so. And then we can pull his, let's pull his hands out. Let's try to pull his hands out. Yeah. Sometimes his hands cooperate. There we go. All right, we got his hands out, and of course we've got the blasters up here as well. I gotta spin his head around. This is actually one of the parts I don't like about this. This is not a great head. Usually that's what happens, is I wind up having to physically take it off and then put it back on. So spin the other one. Not a whole lot to this. The one thing with this transformation, it is fairly basic, but you can get lost on this, and I'll tell you why. And it's something I wish they wouldn't have done. But I almost think it was a prank by the engineers. Okay, so we push this back, fold this down, and over here we just fold these in to make his backpack. If we can clear it, there we go. All right, so you can see he is very shell formerish a bit. Not quite as bad as the actual figure was, but there we go. And let's bring down the arms. And we should give him a weapon. We could take his weapon out of here. I usually don't like to unpeg it out of here. You can. I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna leave it there. You can just shoot behind you when he walks. And there he is in robot mood. And I think he looks pretty good. I have no problems at all with this robot. I think it looks really quite good. Let's put him here. And I think they had him stepping down, possibly. I don't know if he's going to balance well enough for that, but we can have it. We can do this sort of a pose. This is a cool pose. Almost like he's putting his foot into the pool to see if the water is of a appropriate temperature. And there he is. I mean, it kind of works with the backdrop. I don't. Let's try it again. Let's try it again with more of a backdrop this time. Okay, here we go. Let's put his hands up. Let's put this one over to the side. Yeah, I mean, not bad. Not what I would call great, but I mean it's cool. Let's take a look at him a little bit closer up here. We've got, again, just obscene amounts of detail. This head is just funky. It wants to resist turning, but you really kind of need to be able to turn it in order to get the transformation correct as far as the vehicle side. I mean, I guess we'll try a transformer with his head facing down, but I got problems with this. You can see there is very, very nice tooling and detailing here. He does have his rocket pods. I believe you can actually put these over here if you want him to be more shoulder fired. Again, great amounts of detail here in the legs. It looks really good in robot mode. The backpack does blend in, I think, pretty well. It is huge, though. This is a really bulky backpack. And I think if he was running, he'd be kicking it up. Yeah. Okay, so coloration is good. Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with this in robot mode. I think this is actually, it's good in robot mode. I don't think it's great, and I would say the same about vehicle mode as well. Speaking of vehicle mode, might as well get back to that. Okay, so the first step I like to do, guys, if you see me transform stuff, you know I like to do part of the car. So all we're going to do is just fold these feet down, press on this top part on these guns to flatten everything, and that's it. And then we come across and we just plug that in. If you haven't put the gun back in this peg hole, and like I said, it comes out, you just need to put it back in there. And now the front of the car is done. Okay, so from there we need to unplug these so that we have this shell open, and then we need to come around and pull this back so we can pull this part out as well. Doing this part now is definitely what we want to do to get it ready. Okay, so for this, what we're going to do with this part right here is we're going to find whatever I did with his arms are there. So they just basically fold back on themselves. And then this will tuck in. Oh, sorry, you gotta do the hands first. So they fold back on themselves, tuck the hands in, and then they just tuck in. They just shove in. So this part here, this does not go on the top of the car. You might think because the windscreen is there, this will go there too. Maybe for like the rear window vent, maybe for like the rear vent window or the small windows that you see on cars. No, it goes right there. So if you try to orient this with the top of the vehicle, you will be extremely confused and unhappy with things. So, all right, so basically just if you do it this way, this won't work. So you need to fold it behind like so, and then just tuck this under. And then we've got, so these two things should be right here like so. See? All right. Now, you want to make sure you're doing that, and you can tell you've got it right because the wheels will be back where they should go. Now, for this part, all we're doing is just hold. I like to hold onto this and then just kind of pull it back. And it looks like my arm popped out again. So, all right. Come on, you. There we go. Okay, so. Alright, and then I just put these off to the side like so. Now, just keeping this body so it's folded out, and then just bring it down. Okay, so when you look for anchor points on this thing, if you try to get these screens to go where you would naturally expect them, which is back here, you will not transform this correctly. Alright, and from there we're just going to kind of mush everything together. This one needs to come down more. And then from there it's just a matter of snap, crackle, pop, put it all together, and you're back to vehicle mood. But again, this is not a great rolling car. It will roll, and you can see there's his head. You don't really need to tuck his head. I like to, but this is not far enough down to actually catch, oddly enough. But if you want to, you can do what I do in the beginning, which is you can just take his head completely off and then install it backwards, so he's facing the back of the car. And there is space for him to do that. So I haven't found a good way to do this without actually breaking his head off, unfortunately. And you can see there, we just tried to turn it around and that didn't work. I suppose I could have read the instructions, but that really takes all the mystery out of everything, doesn't it? Okay, so, like so. Either which way, it doesn't matter. I think it's a cleaner look though, not having him looking at the ground like that. So that's my preference, but you can do, of course, whatever you want. Sure, figure, have fun. All right, and there it is, back into vehicle mood. And these things will just tuck right in and try to hide the arms, which you can kind of see peeking through there. So yeah, I mean, it's very, very stylized. Obviously, it's very much in battle mood for the Battle of Chicago. And I just wind up doing a lot of tucking here because it's you know, expecting normal car lines and getting something like this, I think it'd be a bit disorienting. That is kind of one of the minor reservations I have with this. This, I think, is a prank. I'm almost convinced of it. Just the way that they oriented these, because there's no real reason to have them down here. Like you would never have window screens on the bottom of a car for any reason. It's absurd. But so as long as you just remember not to do that, you should be fine with this one. But anyway, there it is. The Deluxe class. Studio Series number 58 of Roadbuster from the Dark of the Moon Transformers movie, The Battle of Chicago. Guys, if you did enjoy it, look at this, please give us the old thumbs up, guys. Hit the red subscribe button if you have not done so already, guys. I don't know if there will be a blue notification or comments available. If there are, please feel free to use them if you care to do that, guys. Whether there are or not, please come follow us on our Twitter feed where updates to the channel are made by myself pretty much as soon as they happen. Also, guys, as I noted, you can see Twitter-specific content there as well. And, of course, you can comment to videos if you care to do that, or otherwise communicate with that. We love to hear from everybody. But one last time, one good shot for the road. There he is, a Roadbuster in all of his glory, at least for this model. Again, if you want to see what he looks like in the normal version, consult our Dark of the Moon playlist, where the movie figure is there just waiting for you to check him out. Anyway, we will see you all next time, guys. Bye-bye.